YouTube is hard. Its algorithm changes all the time, and a lot of videos of how to grow on YouTube are based on old standards. So what's it like nowadays? How does someone grow on YouTube? And most importantly, how do you avoid the mistakes that everyone always makes on YouTube? Simple. Let somebody else fuck it up for you. That's me. Also, I forgot to make an intro for this, and I couldn't find one that I liked in the, or I couldn't create one that I liked in the editor. So we're going to, and just do it easy. My name is Event42 Null. You can call me Event, and let's find out what I've been trying to learn these past few weeks about YouTube. So let's do some quick fire tips. Tip 1, don't compete with bigger YouTubers. This one should be obvious, but it's not a lot of the time. And by compete, I mean don't make the same content as them. Next tip, this one's gonna catch you a little off guard. Do not share your videos with your friends unless you know them really well and know that they will support you no matter what. And this isn't because they might bash you or anything. No. It's because they might not like your content, and if they click off of it and just leave a like or a dislike, it's gonna fucking hurt you. Watch time matters more than anything else. We'll get back to that though. Just know that if your video hasn't taken off, don't try and inflate it with your friends. Skip that step. Bad step. Will probably drown your video. Now for one that's maybe a little less thought about. Do not make gaming highlights. Another fuck up I did. Everyone does. Only the popular matter, and you're not. But that's okay. It's something you can revisit later when you have an audience that wants to just come and laugh and see you. Which I don't, so this happened. So yeah, don't do that. Next step. Experiment with different styles and try to avoid oversaturated content or else you're never going to be seen. Odds are there's also going to be content that you're just not good at. Like making a Fallout 76 video that got a bunch of dislikes and bought it because you're bad. Learn from my fucking mistakes. All right, now let's step away from the tips and start looking at what the algorithm actually is and does so that you can understand how to maybe use it to your advantage. So here's that. It doesn't look that bad. Well, that's because it kind of isn't, but it really isn't very intuitive either. But let's follow this trail all the way down the line. So what happens when you first upload a video? Right, so let's say we have a random video. It's a video of a dog. This is Reese. She's adorable. As soon as we upload it, YouTube is going to do two things. Catalog the tags for search and allow it to fall into the feed of your subscribers. This is where your thumbnail matters. You gotta stand out, especially since you're small. People are going to see the small views and avoid it thinking it's low effort. It's just human nature. So put effort in your thumbnails. It actually does help because now all of the views it pulls from this little kind of experiment that it's doing with your video get pushed into the YouTube algorithm ranking system. We're gonna call this YARS. Show with an image of a pirate. That's fun, right? Makes you want to like the video, right? Maybe leave a comment with some feedback and subscribe for more. Right, so that's both for my video and illustrates the coming points very well. All of these things and more are going to decide the fate of your video. Some way more than others, and you'd be surprised which ones actually have more weight. From top to bottom, we have watch time percentage, impressions click-through rate, subscriptions created from the video, comments generated from the video, and likes and dislikes generated from the video. And somewhere in there, channel stats. I am too small to note this very well, as you can tell, but it's important. I wanted to put it in there, but I do not know how important it is, so I didn't want to lie to you or pretend I know more than I do. I don't. So let's move on. Yes, this image is correct. Your likes are important, and after your video first goes up, they are super important. But overall, this is how the algorithm seems to weigh things. So watch time. Right. This might be the hardest pill to swallow. Out of all the things on this list, watch time is the most important thing. If you are pulling very little to none of anything else, if you are pulling watch time, I'm trying not to smile, my dog is slowly crawling into my lap. If you are pulling watch time, your video is going to get pushed one way or another. If YouTube isn't pushing your video, odds are it's not good enough for people to stay with it. And yes, that hurts, but don't get disheartened by it though. Learn from it. I screw up videos all the time. I'm going to continue to screw up videos. You cannot learn without screwing up unless you have someone to guide you the whole way. And even then, you still got to fuck up if you want to learn the most important stuff. If a video flops, whip out the analytics and see when people left and why. You can get a feel for this if you look down here where it shows where people were watching and by what percentage. If you see a dip, it is always important to look at that dip. Find out why people skipped over it or left entirely. This will help you determine what you can and cannot get away with on YouTube, and it's going to help you make better content. Moving on to click-through rate. Super important. YouTube is more likely to push content it doesn't have to work hard to push. This saves YouTube money and allows more ads. Mo faster. So use a thumbnail. Always use a thumbnail, otherwise YouTube is going to completely ignore you. As it turns out, YouTube has a built-in feature where it will scan to see if someone uploaded a thumbnail and just kind of toss a video in the trash. Amazing, isn't it? And be sure not to over clickbait it either, otherwise it's going to hurt your watch time when people leave when they found out they were lied to. And if your watch time gets hurt, it's worse than not having impressions. Everything is a very delicate balance. Hang in there though, it's only going to get trickier to balance from here. Next is subs. Remember me asking you to like, comment, and subscribe a second ago? By the way, you should. Also, YouTube uses this as a heavily weighted metric. Monkey brain does monkey thing. As people are watching videos on YouTube, they're not thinking about liking, commenting, subscribing, yada, 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 yada. It's not crossing their mind. They see funny video, they click next funny video. I do it, you do it, we all do it. We all scream for ice cream. So you have to call them to action, because getting those metrics in is so important in helping to push your content, and subscriptions hit the hardest. YouTube sees this and goes, oh, they were paying loads of attention and they really like this guy. This is a good sign. So they're going to push you. Next, we got comments. Yes, this is above likes, and no, it did not used to be. YouTube used to care about likes more than anything, but that has changed immensely, but we'll get there. Let's roll it back to comments. Comments tells YARs that you're engaged in whatever you're watching. Leaving a comment means that somewhere in the video, something struck a fancy, something struck a chord in your head that you had to tell somebody about. And that means that your brain is more activated and therefore more susceptible to advertisements. Because you are more susceptible to advertisements, YouTube will use that susceptibility to push more ads. And that's good for you. Remember, just because it sounds kind of cyberpunk, twisted, kind of capitalist vibes, anything that benefits YouTube benefits you in the end. So don't be like estranged to letting YouTube win. It's good if YouTube wins. If YouTube wins, you win. All's good. Happy, happy. Now, let's look at likes. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Likes used to matter a lot more when, the internet actually cared about them. It is so easy to do a like that a lot of people don't really pay attention when they like. They just be like, okay, video. And they hit like. That doesn't mean they were engaged necessarily through the entire video, and that doesn't necessarily mean good things for ads. So YouTube isn't going to care about them as much, and it's going to push them down to the bottom. It will use them, if it has nothing else, to determine if content is worth even looking at, but all in all, it's not going to care too much about them in the end, unfortunately. So let's say you've got like 50 views on that dog video within the first 24 hours or whatever. YouTube is going to take those views and pass it through YARs. It's then going to take that and determine a rank that it's going to give you and your video. With that rank, it's going to figure out where in the list of suggestions it's going to place you when people are looking up tags related to your video. You need to have a good rank. if you're going to actually get your content pushed and people to see it, because there's always going to be people making similar or the exact same content as you. There are 7-8 billion people in this world. Who knows how many are always on YouTube, and who knows how many are creators? I'm sure there's a metric, I don't have it. So it's important to take time with your videos, plan them out, and make sure they get made with at least somewhat of a professional level of quality. Otherwise, you're going to be drowned out by the 78 people on Fiverr who are just making videos for 30 bucks. Editing videos, that is, but whatever. Carefully planned and orchestrated content is what's going to carry you through YouTube. You have to make sure you get content out constantly, at least once a week. Otherwise, YouTube is going to forget about you. Now, you may be thinking, but insert YouTuber here doesn't have to put out content once a week. He puts it out once a month at best. And you have to ask yourself a very important question. Are you them? Stupid question, sure. You're obviously not. But that's the difference. They most likely have hundreds of thousands to millions of subscribers. And that is going to help them when they don't have content out. No matter what, they've got loyal people who are going to come back when they drop something new. And YouTube knows it. So it will push their content anyway. It will take care of the million subscriber person way before you. And that's because they're a safe bet. You're brand new. You've got subscribers. You're a wild card. You don't matter to YouTube right now. So play it safe. Keep content out on the week. It's very important. So you made it through YARS, and now you're wondering what's next. Your content is getting pushed, hundreds of views are coming in, everything's looking up. What happens now? Well, your video is just going to go through YARS again, and again, and again. It's an infinite loop. YARS is a constantly moving algorithm. It does not stop once a video has been declared good. It's going to keep shifting it around, and eventually, people will stop watching your content, and that's why it's so important to get the next piece out. Because you gotta keep that flow going if you want to keep growing. But there's one more thing we have to go over before I say my goodbyes. In my Fallout 76 video, which didn't do very well, and it's fair, it wasn't the greatest. It got botted though. Bots used to be a tool people use to grow their channel. And if you have that thought in your mind to pay somebody to bot you, I would suggest not doing that. Bots are strictly hostile now because of the watch time rule. Bots do not stick around. They do not like videos. Well, there are expensive ones that can, but all in all, they're not going to properly watch your video. And if they don't, it is going to bury you. And even if it doesn't bury you, if you found the perfect bot, if you've got it all figured out, you are the smartest man, YouTube's probably going to figure it out, and then they're going to ban your ass. My video that got hit, I immediately sent a message to YouTube, which they promptly ignored because I have no importance or anything of value to say whatsoever. But I did it. That's all that matters. And then I immediately closed the video. I put it to private. I kept it. I could have deleted it, but I kept it because I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. So if you look here, you will see that all of the views that are coming in are strictly from external sources. This is a big red flag, especially since they came in so quickly, because this means one of two things. One, you're being botted, or two, you've been put on a site that has decided to host your video. That is not necessarily a good thing, because a lot of the times the people on that site don't care about you and are going to not watch your video. And as we talked about earlier, not watching your video is the same as drowning you. If your watch time goes down, it's bad. So if either of these things happen, if you get a large spike in external views and they're not watching, if your watch time is dropping, you've got to private your video at least a while and hope that it passes. But I've got some bad news for you. Odds are that video is dead. You can try to re-upload it. Didn't work for me. That doesn't mean it's not going to work for you, but there's nothing you can do about it. YouTube doesn't care either way. You're still a nobody. You have to claw your way out on your own. And to be fair, even super big people, YouTube doesn't care much about them. I mean, they complain about it all the time. So you're in it for yourself, and you have to claw your way out. Make more content, push out more. Don't be forgotten. Get angry about it. It's important. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, give me a comment. I don't care if it's you throwing some hate towards maybe one of my opinions or one of the things I presented in this. Feedback is always important and it helps people grow. Subscribe for more, because more will be coming. I'm going to keep to that week rule. I'm actually going to move to 2 videos per week soon. I'm just trying to get my hands more into editing. And we've got some actual kind of back wall games coming out soon, like, well, I don't want to tease it, otherwise you might go look at it from somebody else, and that will make me very sad. But I've got some games in the works to look at. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, thanks for watching. Goodbye.